September is on the line. Bitcoin is magnetizing 108,000 on the heat map. Ethereum just bounced from 3,800, and Toshi reclaimed the shelf exactly where we mapped it yesterday. Is this the local bottom forming, or one last sweep before a rip? Quick map for today. Bitcoin plans on the edges. I'll give you that. Ethereum follow through, and Toshi receipt from yesterday. Flows and options pin, and a fast explainer on fading in the edges in plain English. We'll finish with 2 trade setups you can copy as well. Bitcoin, we're trading on this 112, 108,000 range. Max pain is at 111,000. Actually, it's at 110,000. There's a downside liquidity cluster right here, 108,000. And there's upside supply, 111.5 to 13,000. This area right here, that's the recent rejection band, as you can see right there. So my bull path, we sweep this area right here, 107, 108. We reclaim 109.5, 109 to 109.5. This area like we are right now, right? We have to keep it. That's the big thing with the CPD turning up. If that's the case, the target is going to be 110.5 to 109,000 easily right through here. And if that can continue, obviously we're going to retest this area of resistance, 111,000. That's my thesis. That's what the trade is all about. But I'm reactive, no chasing mid-range, confirmations only. So on the edges, when what does it? You take your position after it does what it does on these edges. So yesterday on Ethereum, we didn't flag it yesterday. Actually, a few days ago, we flagged that this support line right here, which I drew on this when I did this. I don't even know when. I can't even remember when. Right? But lo and behold, we didn't think it would be a thing up here at almost 5,000. But wait enough, lose the 50 EMA. Well, then that's the area of support. We called that would probably be the area of support once we lost the 50. And so far so good. It's bounced off pretty well. That's good. We want that to continue, right? We want it to bounce off it here and come back and retest this 50 EMA as hopefully easy resistance to keep going back up. Eventually we will, guys. I don't know how long we consolidate for, but it could be just as we're getting in towards the end of the month of September, that the powers that be in the crypto world, the shorts, the bears, want to bring us below 108,000. I'll show you all that too. But good to see this Ethereum. Let's hope that it holds. Ethereum BTC, obviously if Ethereum drops, BTC will outperform usually. And as you can see, same type of thing. We lost the 50, although we're bouncing back today. We see that a lot of bounce back today, but let's see if it holds. Let's see if it's not just a quick respite before the continuation of a drop. I don't know that is in fact the case, but there are some things that say it could be, right? Like ETF flows, for example. We'll get to that. Toshi receipt. We mapped this pretty well yesterday, okay? This point of control right here, 3070, right? We said more or less it could probably hit that. Changes a little bit, but point of control, right? We said that if it could bounce here, right? If it doesn't, next area is the 50 EMA at 3068. And what happens? You can't see that. It whipped all the way down, barely touched it, didn't really touch it, and it came back up, and we're above both this 50 EMA and this point of control. Ideal. That's good. Honestly, this Toshi chart is as I said yesterday, the least weakest out of the ones that I watch. Okay, here from here, higher, high. Look, okay, we're gonna form the next one here somewhere. But first, we got to do something like this, and eventually come up that way, right? Let's see if we ride this 50 EMA, or if we lose it and come back down. Test kind of closer to this area right here. But I'm not sure. There's a lot of good catalysts for Toshi, man. People are starting to really pay attention to this coin. So I mean, it could be that this could be your best opportunity. It could be. But remember, memes are dangerous. Volatile, right? So we called that pretty cool. Let's see what happens here. Let's hopefully we keep this point of control. Let's hope we stay above it. Depends on what the rest of the market does. But if the market starts settling down, and then we see Ethereum BTC start moving up, then same thing Toshi would move up as well. But I think it's trending in the right direction. We want to see some volume here. Okay, you could probably take a trade here, short-term trade, thinking that it'll come up to right here 3077. But we need to see volume, and so far we don't really see too much volume right now, comparatively speaking. So if some volume, then yeah, maybe you get in right here, because it did wick out. I mean, it did rebound from here. And then just wait. If after 24, 48 hours nothing happens, right, then invalidate it, close out everything. Small money. If you think about doing it, don't just small stuff, right? Play stuff. Let's talk about ETF flows. Let's take a look at all that really quickly. Recent ETF flows, garbage, green, outflows, BTC, same type of thing for Ethereum. Okay, and that explains the stickiness under $111,000, right? Under max pain, $110,000 right now. If we flip all this stuff though, if we flip all this red, at least neutral, right? Neutral to positive, then the rallies have more fuel. The options pin is at 110,000. Earlier it was at 111,000, but was confirmed really quickly. 110,000. Okay, so you can expect pin and probe behavior. Think of it as magnets on both edges. All right, and we have identified the edges. Talking about Bitcoin here. Okay, the trick is waiting for the tag and trading the reaction. Somewhere around here, waiting for the tag. Boom, get out. Same type of thing. Waiting for the tag, comes up into reversion, right? Revert to the mean. Around here, boom, get out. Easy little profits. Not sexy at all, but money can be made there. So what does fade the edges mean? Okay, plain English, when price hits a well-known extreme of the range, you bet on a small move back towards the middle, but only if the move fails and starts to reverse. Okay, only if the move fails and starts to reverse. Sorry. How I do it? Simple. At the top, like I mentioned, you sell on the rejection, stall wick, and close back below this level. At the bottom, same type of thing. Only buy on the reclaim, the wick below, and then close back above the level. Now September, right? And also why this area right here? A couple of reasons. But first, September. We want to know if this is going to close green or red, right? Because it's important, right? If it closes green, we can expect the rest of these 3 months to be green, as we saw in 23, as we saw in 16, as we saw in 15. Last year was somewhat of an anomaly. 2 out of the 3, December was red, right? So we can expect at least, if September is red, 2 more green months, right? Strong green months, by the way. Okay, so that's why we want September to close green, right? And why that line in the sand is $108,000, guys. Right, if buyers defend 107, 108,000, and we reclaim 109 to 110,000, a green September is still on the table, and historically that's been a good setup for year-end strength. Small sample, but notable, right, as we just saw. And another reason for that 108 number, guys, liquidation heat map. Liquidation heat map also outlining the edges. Okay, so we are. Look at this. Look at all this liquidity. Over $110 million in liquidity right there on this yellow line right here, right on this cluster right here. Okay. Path of least resistance is probably come down there and sweep. That's why I say sweep, right? See what happens after that sweep. It's going to revert back. Why? Look at all this. Look at all this liquidity overhead. Okay, look at all the liquidity above 111,000. All the way high, 114,000. That's a lot of liquidity to be had. You think they're not going to try to get that? They're going to try to get that, right? So let's see what happens there. And then again, from that point, it would be the reversion, right? Grab that and what happens? Come back down, depending if there's liquidity all of a sudden forming down here or if there's more up here. A lot of stuff to look at. So let's take a look at those setups for Bitcoin. Okay, so the trigger is a wick into 107, 108,000, and then the reclaim. Now keep in mind, I'm looking at this on the daily, but you have to look at it on hourly. If you're doing that, you're gonna be trading. Because this is short-term stuff, guys. We're talking like 24, 48 hours. All right, you're not in this position for a long time. This is not a hodl. Right, this would be quick in and out because you're playing with a small little area, but it takes a lot of the guesswork out. Okay, so a quick wick into 107, 108,000, and then a reclaim into 109,000, 109,500. All right, with the CVD up, so you want to be watching this, okay, to see. And so you enter at 109 to 102, 109.2 to 106, 109.6 on the retest, right? Boom, boom, enter. The stop you put at 108.6, and the targets would be 110.6 to 110.9, right? This whole area. And 111 to 105, so I'm basically up here. So this whole area right here, this is your take profit zone. So you drill now. I'm gonna go to the daily, just easier a little bit to show you. And the other setup is the tap and reject, basically going short, right? Going short. The trigger there would be 111.3 to 111.9. Okay, so this area right here. And so it gets up here. We see some wicks or something. It rejects. We see that it rejects. So the entry would be 111.2 right here, 111.2 to 111.5. You can scale in some entries there, boom. And the stop would be above here, 112.2. Goes past that, it's gonna stop you out. Lose a little bit, but you don't lose it all. So the target would be 110.2 all the way down to 9.5, to basically where we are right now. Right? So this little area right here. And if you want my exact entries, exits, and invalidations in real time as these triggers fire, VIP, 20 bucks a month, comment VIP, follow, like, subscribe, and see you in there. Link is in the bio. See you in the next one. Have a great weekend. Thank you.